They haven't evolved, and I'm fearing the worst here. This Digivice has been kind of difficult. Not really a Digivice, a V-Pet. Specifically, the Digivice would be one that helped a Digidestined make their Digimon Digivolve, and I don't think this one has made me do my anything to anything. You know? This V-Pet is so uncharacteristically difficult, and I say uncharacteristically because, I don't know, it feels like in every other way, and I mean, maybe you've noticed this too, but they kind of feel like they're based off of the Digivice ICs. Partially, I believe that because you have the same main Digivolution line, you also have the fact that you can only connect to the Digivice ICs, and if you connect to them, your Digimon always gets a bomb. I don't know if that's a glitch or something or what. So yeah, I thought this would be like the Digivice ICs, but they do that thing where overnight they run out of training, and then in the morning, if you don't tend to them like really quick, their care mistakes count after like 5 minutes or something like that. And they're tricky, basically. It's not necessarily that they're hard, they're tricky. So that's not good. That's like the bad version of hard. And I'm so scared because it's been like 3 days. Yesterday, I didn't do a video because that work I was having to do, well, it ended up being more than I thought, so I had to take yesterday off. So sorry about that, but it's like you weren't missing anything. They didn't change, they didn't do anything. Look at them. They're just full. They're full of training, and they're 6 years old. Like, I've taken good care of them, right? You too? Whatever, fine. Pardon me for not waking you all up at 6 a.m. every day to do jumping jacks. Here, let's do a couple events. You know what? If we can't get the Digivolution that we want, then we're gonna get a Digivolution. We're gonna get the bomb one. All we gotta do is just keep doing the events over and over again until they get bombed like 5 times, and then they can turn into the other thing. Ooh, did you see him sass you? Bombs? Golly. You know, the one time I want you guys to fight and have problems, you go and get all campy and share. That's real great. It doesn't help me out, though. Stop! Stop being so nice to each other! Okay, here we go again with the Tums and Clockmon. What, did you undo a care mistake? I don't even know 100% that I've made care mistakes, is the thing. Like, this could just be that they're taking forever to Digivolve. Like, you know, the first day they Digivolved twice, the second day they Digivolved again, and then now we're stuck here. Now we're stuck here, and I don't know if this is like them making up for all the time that they accidentally skipped ahead. Maybe they're like, oh crap, we were supposed to spread this out more. Okay, don't Digivolve for a... What? What? Was that Holy Dramon, or... Caius, what's happening? What? Oh, that's the event egg! We just got an event egg, so now when these two die, we'll be able to run the special linear evolution line. Of course, that one, I will tell you, is hard, and I don't even know if I want to try running that if I can't get these guys to Digivolve into their perfect forms. Or, sorry, ultimate forms. I've been watching too much of the anime. I'm converting. Oh, finally, 2 Clockmons! Is this like the jackpot? What do I win? Happiness. I guess the world needs more of that. Oh boy. Okay, sorry, Geogreymon. It seems to always be you that's getting the bomb, which might be good. Maybe they'll actually Digivolve into a bomb thing. Hey, you know, I also got a PS4 Pro yesterday. I was so happy. Like, my mom sent me one because I asked for one, because I was like, man, I want to play Monster Hunter, but none of my friends will play it. Like, they have it, and every time I see them, they're like, oh, hey, man, when are we going to play Monster Hunter? And I'm like, yeah, when are we? But they never do, so I was like, I want another PlayStation so that way I can play with my girlfriend. We've had the original PS4 since it released, and I just wanted to be able to play online games with my girlfriend. So we got it, we set it up, we played Monster Hunter last night, I helped her finally beat Xeno'jiiva, and then yesterday I streamed for the first time in forever, since now that there's this extra PS4 and it's now in the office space, I won't have to move it back and forth, and I don't have to keep resetting it. It's just such a pain in the butt having to move it back and forth because my computer settings reset for it every time, and then I have to spend like an hour troubleshooting why it won't stream. So I might be able to do it more often now, you know? I can't just assume that our interests all cross-section here, but I do like Monster Hunter because I like monsters, and I like Digimon because I like monsters. Dragons, big angry things with big fangs, stuff like that. So over on my Patreon, once a month we take a poll to see what special illustration we should do for the month. Like last month it was Anjuamon, and then this month, who won? Dodumon. So we're gonna draw a Dodumon, not here. No, it's gotta be like fully illustrated and colored and stuff like that, and it's gonna be them doing something cute probably. Especially because Dodumon doesn't have that like much complexity in themselves. Like, I'll find a way to do it. I wanna stylize it. I'm even considering maybe drawing them in a Monster Hunter style. Maybe almost like the monster, you know, glyph icon kind of style. It's up to me, I guess, to figure that kind of stuff out. Nishi and Higa, I don't know what to do with you two. I don't think you're gonna Digivolve. Usually it's the 7th. It's by the time they reach their Mega form, and tomorrow is the 7th day of of their life. So if they haven't digivolved by now, one could assume that I've made one too many care mistakes. It's pretty hardcore. Like, you can't make a single care mistake if you want them to digivolve into their ultimate forms here. Not one. In fact, on the guides online, it says -1. And I don't think that's just them making a typo, because there are other ones where they're like 0 care mistakes. For perfect, or ultimate, as they call it over here, you have to get -1 care mistakes. And then for mega, or what they call in Japan, ultimate, the final form, you have to make -2 care mistakes. What does that mean? How do you get -2 care mistakes? Does it like take a care mistake away per day for every day that you do it perfectly? I don't get it. But I'm pretty sure I've made a care mistake at one point, maybe before they digivolved into this form, so maybe I'll have to finally take a loss here. Maybe I'll finally have to give up my title as the guy that always gets the perfect form. It's good though, you know? If I have nowhere else to grow, what else is there to watch, right? What other form of intrigue is there? I have to mess up sometimes. If I do another run on these, I'm gonna have alarms set, like ones to actually wake me up in the morning with them. Because in their first forms, they would go to sleep at 7, and then they wake up at like 7 or something like that. And every other form wakes up at 7, except for this champion form. They wake up at 8. So it's like, you gotta actually create calendars, set alarms, revolve your life around them, or else you just don't get to see half of the content. Although I just remembered something, if they didn't digivolve into their like best perfect form, they would still be able to turn into one of the lower ones. We should still be able to get like the level below them or the one below that, right? There are those in the tree. So I almost wonder if we truly are meant to wait this long. These aren't necessarily the VPET version 20ths where they shortened the time for Digivolution. Maybe this one's just weird and they digivolve boom, 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 and then wait a long time. Oh, that's nasty, because that's so much time to make a care mistake. So you know what? All hope might not be lost. With the way people's attention spans are going these days, you might have already gotten upset and left because I just talked at length about how I think I messed up, but if you're still here, there's hope! There's hope, everyone who's still here, there's hope! Brookhall suggested that we should draw a Lotmon eating a cake, kind of in celebration of my birthday. So, yeah, let's draw a drawing. And here we have a small drawing, so I'm going to use a 0-1. Let's draw ourselves a Lotmon. That didn't rhyme, but it kind of almost did. If I were a better rapper, I probably could have, like, made it work. But I don't practice very often. I'm still gonna keep this cake's face. I mean, might as well, you know, you might as well go with it. The little fork bit, and then here comes the cake. It's not a giant cake, but it's a big old bite of cake. You should be more careful. Oh, look at me. Dadding it up over here. Just not letting the kids eat a bunch of cake. You know, I had that thought process, like, yesterday for my birthday. Because, like, we went out to eat somewhere, and then they were like, here, have a cake and ice cream. And I was like, oh, thanks. And I had already had a cherry limeade, and, like, I have a pretty low tolerance for sugar. Like, if I have too much sugar, I will have a freak out. And so I just avoid it generally. So they bring this out, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to eat this. And I'm like, here you go, girls, you can have it. So my girlfriend and our daughter, like, they just start, like, eating it. And I'm worried about my kid, because, like, she has my genes, right? So I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't freak out, too. And sure enough, I had to spend like the rest of the evening letting her just hang out with me and make sure she has like heavy blankets on her and stuff, because she had like such a sugar rush that she got anxiety. And I was like, great. It's hard for me to be mad at her though. I had to do that like a few hundred times. Oh, who am I kidding? A few thousand times before I learned my lesson with sugar. Need to add this kind of light back in, little face. And we also need to actually add like a sliced piece of cake. Because that's, you know, otherwise where the heck did the cake come from? Come on, dry. I'll have to fix it later. That's all for today. Thank you all for coming by. I'll try not to miss any more days, because you know how it is. I just don't want to disappoint anyone. Also, YouTube will make me disappear. I had noticed some people were actually hitting the bell below and like making it to where they get notified whenever I upload something, which is awesome. Because I had someone else on Twitter be like, hey, I just noticed that there's this video that I love, but I didn't notice it for 6 days because it wasn't even in like your uploads list. Like, what the heck? So there are a lot of shenanigans. It is really annoying. So if you have clicked the bell, I really appreciate it. I guess it's encouraging. It lets me know that, you know, you're there and you want to see these things. And thank you. Brookhall, thank you for the suggestion. If you'd like to make more suggestions down below, please do. Oh, and just before I forget, thank you all so much for all of your birthday wishes. There are so many comments on last video being like, happy birthday? I don't know why I like had to think about what the phrase was there. I don't. Sometimes I wonder if I'm actually human. Big thanks to the patrons, especially Cookieface and Shifter and now Zombie Eater, but you're all helping me a ton. But I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.